Okay, I'm going to start by saying this. The reason for which the universe was created shall be fulfilled. And it is in the process of being fulfilled as we speak, as I speak, sitting down over here. Where am I sitting? I'm in an old infrastructure that was built by our ancestors here in Antigua. This infrastructure is on the top of the mountain, and you can see the Atlantic Ocean down there, and also, of course, the fancy houses that have been erected here by the stinky rich people. Well, I'm not saying stinky rich people because I hate them. No, I don't hate them. I don't even envy what they have, such as those properties. I don't really envy that. I don't need it. It's not necessary for me. At least that's how I see my presence here on earth. It's not to actually covet stuff like that. I'm making this video just for people who aren't awake yet, that are still, cooperating with everything we are told to do. Well, Antigua is an island that was, first of all, like the first infrastructures here were built by slaves during the slave trade. And I have videos on this. I went to the museums here in Antigua to see how slavery impacted this island. And not just this island alone, but the world as a whole. You need to understand one thing. The system that we are under today, that is oppressing us, all these how do you call it? The fields that we know of, like medicine, agriculture, commerce, the travel industry, airlines and stuff like that. It would not have been possible without slavery. So slavery was a conspiracy, of course, indeed it was a conspiracy to take Africans from Africa and then bring them over here to Antigua to build stuff like this. Well, if you want to confirm that it was indeed a conspiracy, there is a conference called the Berlin Conference that took place in 1884, and it was called on by the German Chancellor at the time. It's von Bismarck. He's the one who called that conference on to decide what they should do with the African continent and the people thereof. So they brought slaves over here in Antigua, in the Caribbean. Some slaves, were taken to Barbados, to Brazil, anywhere here in the American continent. That's how black people, we see the presence of black people here today. It's true that they did exist before then, but not with the purpose of, planting sugar cane in the cotton and then send this to Europe and stuff like that. No, that wasn't the purpose of it. It was just to live. But the slavery, the commerce, to build this world of commercialism that we know of today, that we all have to struggle for the money, that we need to do all this and that, you need to sacrifice yourself for this and that. This system would not have been possible with our ancestors, with the slavery. Just to say that slavery was a phase to make happen the system that we live under today. And if you want to see it for yourself, you can come to Antigua and visit the sites like the one I find myself in today. We are here not far away from Pigeon Beach, here in English Harbor, in the southern side of Antigua, the island. We are going to go to Barbuda, which doesn't have a lot of things to see. Many of the things happened in this main island here of Antigua. They say it's Columbus who discovered it. Columbus didn't discover anything. Antigua existed before Columbus existed. Yeah. So if they say it's the first European to come here, yes, I would accept that. But to say he discovered it, no, he didn't discover it. And indeed, Columbus did not even discover America. He didn't discover anything because The so-called discoverers, how can you discover something that exists already? So we human beings never discover anything because everything exists already. We were the last species to be made. So there is nothing that we can actually discover. No, that's a lie. Anyway, just think of it. Come to Antigua if you can. If you can't, just read about the history of Antigua, but the reliable history, of course, because there are so many lies out there. Yeah, read reliable and verifiable history of Antigua. And if you know an Antiguan who knows the history of this island, they can tell you. We did visit the sugar plantation yesterday. We did visit the museum downtown in St. John's. It's quite painful. It's quite painful. You can feel that energy of suffering that our ancestors went through at the time of slavery. So yeah, I'm standing right here on this side. So many trees on top of the mountain. These trees are growing on rocks. On rocks. There is no, of course there is sand here, but the major sand is rocks. I understand that a rock is just a much larger version of a grain of sand. That I know it. A grain of sand is just a smaller version of a huge rock. I get that. So these trees grow up on these large grains of sand, which we call rocks here in Antigua. Yeah, so I just wanted to stimulate thought. Think about visiting Antigua and bear in mind that the reason for which the universe was created shall be fulfilled. It is in the process of being fulfilled as I speak, as I'm sitting right here on this place. Peace.